Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Winternomics.
What it do, what it is. Happy Monday, motherfuckers. How's everybody doing? Yeah, this is, you gotta get your LSD meds. So, don't have a seizure. Let me know if you guys are struggling on this one. But it looked too good to not take. Come on, look at this. Look at the back. Look at this evolve. How could you not? So from the ashes of FTX, you know, the Grateful Dead shall arise, because now everybody needs answers, right? Crazy as shit. So hopefully you guys, I saw some of you guys on the channel played the down wave and some of the crypto assets coming out of the weekend here. The market is exceedingly weak. We talked about looking at coin as kind of a hedge on crypto, because like it's kind of an exchange contagion ripple that you got going now. And your best representation of exchanges, you know, in the stock market is, you know, coin. And nobody has any real idea how bad this is going to get. You know, I think in the bankruptcy now they're saying there's like 134 affiliated, you know, companies that could be tied into this. God knows how many exchanges, right? So, Director Vale, does it look better than we thought or worse than we thought? More pixelated? Is it? All right. Let's change things. You guys tell me if I'm gonna change the camera. Hang on, director. Watch. I'm gonna switch the camera right now and tell me what happens. And it's gonna go back to the other one. So we thought we had a different resolution here. Let's see. All right. Wait 1 sec. You guys let me know if this is better. Hope this doesn't kill me while I'm live. Alright, this is what was the higher resolution camera. It looked crazy this morning when we turned them on, so we turned them back off. How's this now? Huh?
Use the computer one.
I switched it. Is it worse this way?
I think that they're both pixelated, but the computer wants to use a FaceTime camera.
Okay. You think it looks a little better? They say it looks a little better, huh? So it's not nearly as Well, I don't like the sound of that. Still relatively pixelated. I don't like that at all. Well, that sucks. It looked higher res over here. Damn, never know until you switch this thing. All right, go back to this. I don't have a good backup to switch it to right now, boys and girls. So now I'm fucking like not happy. Man, 1 sec.
Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly.
We're going to this.
Loading in 5, 4.
We'll do a quick editing adjustment real quick. I think we can go with this, right? What do you think? A little bit better? Is it cleaner? I'm pretty pissed off by that resolution situation. Much better? All right. Let's rock with this. Still keeps the same vibe, but hopefully the resolution's it's pretty crazy. On my end, you know, we see it looking insane until we fucking turned on the stream, and it still looks good over here. That's so weird. All right, cool. My bad. Sorry about that. Production snafu. Anyhow, so I saw Izzy put in the chat. We have FOMC things this week. The market is in a precarious place in crypto and in stocks, to be honest. You know, you have a real, if you guys have been paying attention since we talked about that whole industrial versus tech revolution, if you're watching, you're noticing like there be significant strength in industrial assets, financial assets, while tech looks like fucking a completely different market now. That's really not something you see. You know, the market generally is quite correlated. And if the market's heading down, it's heading down. If it's heading up, it's heading up. You don't really see this split. We see fucking industrial assets in the Dow having a good day while fucking, you know, technology assets get obliterated. But again, we're kind of in an environment we don't really know, myself included. Not in the day-to-day fucking world of it. But we talked about this before. And let's see, which one is it I had the graph for it on? I think it's this guy. We graphed this dude, right? This big macro tide. And this is really uncharted territory. This is probably where Buffett has a serious advantage on everybody. He lived through the part of the chart we can't see back here, right? The 60s and the 70s. of what was like a crazy rising rate environment. Let's put this on here, DJI. No, not do that. DJI. Not that. Jesus. We have that graph. I'm trying to do something here. So, DJI, and put you on your own ping. Such a fucking idiot. Oh my god. Sorry guys, I'm retarded. Alright, and then we turn him into a logarithmic. Alright, so this is a time period, and I wish we need to get some more data for like yields to go back a little further to really look at this. Remember, you're coming from a boom period. If we put this back the other way, we'll actually see that Dow goes, it comes from a boom from the 40s and 50s, and you go into a big shock wave here in the 60s to the 70s, and you have this like rate cycle, you know, this rising rate environment until you get to like the stagflation era of the back of the 70s, and you're coming out of Vietnam, and you come into like what becomes the next real big market period for the United States out of like the Dow 100. So when we look at this, right, you know, this is like an industrial-led fucking like pump wave that happens here, right? The tech side of fucking the push. Let's see how far back we can get a NAS chart. Which one of these guys goes back here far? IXIC, right? New pane. We're gonna add one more thing to this craziness. Let's see what we can do here. DJI over IXIC. I know this is getting crazy. New price scale. All right. There's a whole bunch of shits on here. Where'd he go? Huh. Why didn't he show up? DJI / IXIC. Where did he go? Is that him? Oh, that's him right there. I don't want him right there. This is gonna complicate, but don't worry, I'll make it make sense. 1 second. So visual order, move to existing view pane. Now I want to move on the scale pin to your own scale. All right, there we go. So what we're trying to see here is the Dow Jones versus tech coming out of this cycle. You had this massive rate cycle right here, and then going into the 80s, right? It is an industrial-led push initially in the 80s. When you come out of 83 and the market begins to break up, right? Remember, orange is the Dow. Right initially, this would mean tech is stronger initially coming out of the trench. What do I have to do here? I have to fix this guy, logarithmic. Okay, good. So right here, we want to look at this. This is pretty much the most data I can get to give us an idea of what I think this fucking, you know, era is looking like to shape up. If we're going to get a roaring 20s, and you're going to get something that's a recovery in an inflationary, stagnant economy, then this is probably the closest thing we've got, right? So all of our labels, Dow is falling over tech, meaning that there is a tech wave coming into the 80s. Once you start to get some market strength, it's actually tech, right? Tech leads into the 80s. And then you have the climax of this rate cycle, which we should get somewhere in 2023 with the Fed, and probably the breaks off of the restraints off the marketplace into 2024. You get real gas, and you start to have likely the Fed adjusting to correct for some of the damage they've done, and you get an initial bounce here, and industrials leads this entire fucking like rest of the 80s, all the way to 1990. That's an industrial push with tech being the underperformer. And if that looks like the situation you have, right, as the Dow begins to break away from tech right now, and your rate cycle, right, you're cranking into it, it's a little off time with what we saw over here because tech is stronger while this is pushing. But I think tech is kind of you know, gone too far too fast and just really, you know, popped and fully cornered. I think you might see this a little earlier if this is an industrial rotation. So we have like Dow strength here, you know, and what looks like just a much more elongated bull flag. The Dow is really looking like a high and tight bull flag. Why do I have two IXICs? One of these should go. Sorry about that. So yeah, so right now, if we see down here, the Dow push down here, this is a Dow bounce against tech again, which is lending toward, this high rate environment, Dow strength. It looks like it's just an industrial led move for the first part. And a lot of people would be in trouble if they sat there focused on tech for the next, if this lasted 6-7 years, like the last time we saw it, you get fucked. If you started trying to catch things like Meta and, and Netflix and all these things, you just get crushed while McDonald's and fucking stupid shit goes flying. So I think this is kind of like worth paying attention to, like, this kind of like cycle, we just never saw this. And if this goes much further, which it could going into 2023, if the Fed keeps their policy, right, then exacerbate the situation that's going on for growth assets, like the only real fucking alpha might be, in industrials, energy, and financials. So, a little complicated morning basket for you guys to start the day out. Hope everybody got that. You guys got all that? It's like, yeah, we'll just go right to fucking like chapter 6 right away. Nas 100 goes back to 86. What did I pull up there? That was going back to IXIC goes back to 74. And then the Dow goes back further. But yeah, I think that's the oldest Nas you get to IXIC. And then DJI goes back, I think, 100 years. And then SPX will go back to 1800s, believe it or not, which is pretty dope. You guys keep up with all that stuff? It's a lot of info, but hope you guys got it all. All you guys and acolytes, right? You should be processing at a new level. They should be like, oh, now I get it, sir. I bet you do. Gotta stay hydrated. So, what do we got? I didn't even see what the show number started at. Did we start over 100 or did we start under 100 today? I think we started under 100, right? But we're about 140, so that looks pretty good. Another layer of context to grasp, right? So, like, all of that's putting to the pieces together of the mathematical puzzle that's markets to stay on top of, like, what is the place to be for us, right? As a crowd fucking, like, hoards into tech or hoards into fucking, like, bonds or hoards into fucking cash, there becomes opportunity somewhere else in the interconnected web of assets. And so you have to look at enough information to kind of figure out what fucking side of this thing we want to be on. It was under 100 until you sat down, and it was 103. That's what's up, baby. All right. So that being said, oh wait, that's the wrong computer. That's lovely. Whoops. What do you guys think of the morning art? That shit was tougher than you could imagine to process that thing. Holy crap. The color schemes were a little much. So everybody's watching. Got 100 of you. Need community support. So as you guys know, Elon changed some policies in crypto. Well, in Twitter. I want you guys to see this. This is a stunning thing to fucking realize that this didn't exist prior. I want you guys to see this stuff. How crazy is it until Elon Musk took over Twitter? There was no provision for reporting child exploitation on a network like this. This person tweeted that there's a hashtag, I guess, that's associated with people who are trafficking kids in public and I guess have their codes to talk. And that's, Elon's cleaned it out and stuff. And it's like, I didn't even know that. Did anybody know that? That, like, you really couldn't target white supremacists and stuff like, like Nazis have free reign on this shit, like crazy people. But that's crazy that you could have a child trafficking ring work directly through Twitter publicly also. We've seen some crazy shit in our time, but like, how fucking insane is this stuff, right? You didn't have a fucking category to fucking report that at all. And you guys already know you can't communicate with fucking Twitter, so you can't tell anybody shit, So like, holy fuck, you didn't even have a fucking like, an infrastructure to even do something about that. So, as many of you know, and if you guys could, we're trying to get this through because Elon does give a shit about children being exploited, and my brand was taken apart by a bunch of white nationalist sacks of shit who we have very good documentation on all of which, that's not over yet. But we'd like for you guys, if you can, to retweet. You see this post that Sim retweeted to Elon and help get the attention of this. Our brand was attacked offline. A few years ago, we were targeted with pretty much this vile shit, pretty much for the accuracy we have, and lots of salty people being on the wrong end of us in our community. They thought it was somehow fake. We kept on ending up where we end up. Now that it's all on video, really, people can't say much. They keep trying to smear us, but at the end of the day, you can't fucking lie about what we do. We're not lucky, motherfuckers. You can call us whatever you want. But they did it to my son. They took my son and doxed him and advertised him for rape. And it's something I hope Elon would look at. This is a targeted, consistent attack across literally the last 7 years. It has never stopped. It's still going to literally the last 24 hours that we're still getting messages from this fucking same attack from the same group of people who are still doing it through Twitter, who have targeted my kid since he was 9 till he's almost grown. This is something we definitely like everybody to make sure this gets through, because Elon's pretty much the most, known human being on the planet. So getting a message to him is pretty damn near impossible. So I'm going to record this in video and hopefully it gets there. But for who we are, for the people who don't know shit about us and Twitter, a lot of you are in crypto today because of things that happened yesterday. You guys don't know it. We did a campaign back in 2015 in Cash Cycle called it was called the Awareness Campaign, but it was called Bitcoin Special Cash Cycle. It was Roger Ver and at the time Bitcoin Jesus, who was one of the biggest crypto investors in the entire market. We marketed Bitcoin here to a few major funds and publicly to a mom and pop fund. And this is your actual bottom of Bitcoin, and where the beginning of your big bull run actually happens. This is that moment. Cash Cycle 1, 2015. This graph, I know there's lots of arrows, people can't reach it, so I thought I'd help you out. But this is where your arc begins. At $300 at this fucking show, that's it. This thing leaves the building and never comes back. This is our appearance in CNBC, where we gave you a perfect call for the top. And then, on December 16th, the dead high, we gave you the fractal of Qualcomm, which was the actual top of the market. So long before the black swans of this show, if you're new to us, we were the highs and lows of the market in these cycles. And one of the bigger crypto personalities that ultimately got us targeted relentlessly. After appearing on CNBC, they went after my mother and continued with the shit with my kid until they went after my brand. People went after trying to figure out how to steal how we do things. And if we don't get it from you, we're going to fucking destroy your life. That message was written to us multiple times. Even then, they destroyed this account, took down the account that is responsible for bringing together the big personalities that helped to pump the entire crypto market. Most people have no idea that ever happened. We came back as Winternomics and actually called the bottom using gold of the cycle at the end, Lucky 13, which is the bottom of your next major cycle in crypto. So for Market TV to survive, it's kind of had to survive against the fucking shitbags of CT that want to fucking keep you as victims, and basically the reason there's so much wrecked in the market if no one saw FTX, because these people are clowns. They went out of their way to remove a brand like ours because if you see us and you see what CT's doing, you fucking know. These people are not analysts or anything. They're just criminals. That's all they ever were. And that's why they go after people's children and shit. So I want to make this abundantly clear. For anybody who thinks that idea that we could be responsible for the pump of Bitcoin is crazy, well, unless you believe in coincidences, on the left, that's Bitcoin. On the right, that's fucking 2 years later, 2017, that's BCH. That's the same show, in the same place, on the same date, and the same result to both your markets. If you fucking think it happened fucking twice and it's luck, then you're just stupid. We are the pump of Bitcoin. We are the initial foundation of that fucking movement. The reason you guys fucking know Dogecoin and give a fuck all about it is because in 2014, we laid the foundation as an affiliate working with TradingView to bring the exchanges that have all the stupid shitcoins that nobody gave a fuck about, that there was no volume for, into fucking a main platform to be targetable by larger traders. I'm the person who actually submitted that request, and they didn't even want it. Those exchanges had no volume. They didn't see the future in that at all. So I pushed in January 2014 while I was part of the whole Doge army thing. And the reason that Elon Musk today loves Doge is because Doge survived from us doing this. This is the big pump of fucking Doge. And how Doge made it to fucking major fucking like spotlight was getting Doge's exchanges that were fucking like only visible here listed in TradingView where you could see it so you guys could trade it. Most people in crypto didn't even think you could TA altcoins. That was like a fucking running joke that you couldn't do such a thing. So for all you who don't know crypto history, we have to kind of do this because there's a lot of people who would like to wipe us out of history and kind of make sure you don't know that this is how it went. But from your biggest OGs to fucking like, right now, when we did that in 2014 January, your biggest influencer today, this is 2 months after we're putting Doge onto TradingView, and he's like, you can't TA altcoins. This is the belief at the time. This is what started people attacking us, is that you had to be a scam artist because that's impossible. They're little micro cap coins and the behavior is somehow different. So that went from here to, hey, can you teach us how the fuck this works? By the summer of 2014, I want you to see the timeline. There is no TA in crypto. There are no fractals. There are no people comparing this asset looks like that asset. There's none of that shit. There's fucking, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay, maybe you know what you're talking about. Hey, we're going to steal the idea from Kaz in 2018 and say it's fucking Cobain's. Even he didn't want it. Fuck that. To fucking, like, you know, literally fucking the reality that is. The evolutions of fucking crypto Twitter, right? No one says much today. But your pump, your TA in markets, all of that shit, it comes from one place. There's one reason that 3 fucking black swans, which aren't really black swans, and you know what the fuck you're talking about, were only called in this network. It's why the tops and bottoms of all your cycles from actually 14, which most of you don't know the chart from that era, all the way through till today, only are done by one analyst across fucking literally a decade. You can try to wipe me out of history as much as you want, you fucking pieces of shit. But fucking the fact is, the truth will always shine, motherfuckers. I'm still here, and you've done nothing. So, a little crypto history for y'all that don't know crypto history. Post that cycle that I just showed you, also, since they've still tried to wipe me out, we have actually called the bottom with the gold fractal, one of the most accurate fractals you've ever seen, to the COVID cycle bottom. So all the way through, and that was simultaneously with the stock market to go from fucking 3,900 to fucking 4,000. And the S&P 2,400 to 40, whatever the fuck that is, 46, right? To the fucking Sailor fractal to come all the way fucking back down again, to the summer bottom this year, right now, to nailing Celsius, Luna, and this fucking cocksucker SPF. That's the resume. That's who these fuckers have been attacking. Get my account back, Nomics. Bring back the fucking only analyst that ever fucking actually put something out for the benefit of the fucking crypto community from start to finish. Elon Musk, do you hear me, motherfucker? Get our account back. Let's do this already. Alright, so I guess that's the fucking clip. So for anybody who didn't know what the fucking time it was, that's what time it is. Only one, often imitated, never duplicated. Clip that shit. Clip that shit. Alright, so 9:03. Now I'm done fucking kissing my own nuts. Let's go do some market stuff. So anybody give me a fucking scorecard recently? You guys are slacking on scorecards. You kind of need to make them now. You're so lazy. What do we got? No scorecards. You see that? Just post them all inside the chat. Alright, well, we'll look at what we got for earnings. Nothing we care about. Almost no earnings. It's Thanksgiving this week, so that's why this is blank. So remember, this is a holiday week. The market's probably going to get lighter by the day as you approach Wednesday. So if you don't have to do anything, you know, this is a week that markets are thinner. It can be, you know, more choppy. So if you want to take a week off, not the worst week to do it. But still tune into the show because you got to watch what's on here. All right, and then so the only real volatility you probably really have catalyst this week is actually the Fed. And they're going to be on Wednesday. So we do have a good amount of events here. This is RBA. Well, that's tomorrow. So you got actually central banks. A speaker from Australia, New Zealand. We don't really care too much about him so much. PMI from Germany is probably worth seeing. And then, did we say we have the Fed somewhere in here? Yeah, FOMC minutes. So Wednesday is probably our most important day of the fucking week. We don't really care about these two central banks as much as any of the rest of the G7. And then, it's holidays. So, could be a market mover, probably will be a market mover because this is going to tell you what their stance is going to be if we're going to get, leaning towards 50 basis points or worse in fucking December. So, we do want to keep eyes on that if you are trading into Wednesday. All right, it is 9:03.5. I got to actually move faster than I'm moving. So let me get you guys to, shout out to everybody to some morning bits. Jans, Fractal, Al, C. Menez, and Jose. Appreciate you guys. All right, so let's see. did the TNX thing. Let's fucking undo this at Mach 5. Where do I fix that at? Alright, cool. So, okay. Alright, it's a good chart for us to come back to. So where are we right now? So pre-market, we're kind of sitting where we, just below where we close. We close here. We're sitting around there. And this is the trajectory to try and actually have this, like, 2B of the lows of the summer, do a low resolution uptrend, rotate time frames, and see if he makes it all the way to the angle down from last November. So now this is kind of like getting more complicated as we see this little differential in the NAS and the Dow, because this bounce is very different for both, right? The Dow is really the stronger side of this whole thing, almost all the way back to the high that led to the low, and the Qs aren't doing shit, and the S&P is kind of like, a measure between those worlds. He's the major basket that captures this. So I do like to track the S&P, but literally, like, even with this station, I've become to the point where I'm even pigeonholed to looking at the S&P and really ignoring, the index that's really, if it's coming into vogue after, like, 3 decades as a leader out of our crisis, literally there's nobody around that's doing TA anymore that would know to see this. Like, Buffett would literally know a cycle that none of us know intuitively. And I understand, my own behavior across time. Wanted to understand the fractal of that. The reason that I understand market behavior so well is I just been around forever. Not that I'm really smart. I've been in the market since like the late 90s. I've seen so many crashes, and I've seen the behaviors of the crowd in those crashes that I recognize it again when I see it. Buffett has that same advantage with a bigger version of it. He's seen a cycle from the 70s I never saw. But when you see something again, it's not that you're so smart. It's like, duh, I saw this. He is betting on, like, the industrial side, the energy side of the market, in a way that, like, screams, I know something that literally I know none of you young fucking bucks could have any idea about, He knows something fucking crazy. So when you look at that, like, you think about things like, you can look at, like, Oxy over, like, NVIDIA, like, these are insane things. If he actually is betting on, like, fucking, like, these massive tides that happen, like, Oxy over Meta, a generational shift in fucking, like, energy stocks over fucking, like, tech stocks. He would be one of the few people active in the market that knows it. You have to be probably, like, north of, like, 65 years old to have been a seasoned trader in that cycle to tell you about it now, fucking here, in 2022. And it really is like a place where that, if the cycle's as big as I think it is, there are very few people around that have the advantage of knowing it directly. And that's literally my main advantage in the last 20 years, is knowing cycles before many of you young people got to where you were trading to, like, live through your first or second ones. I've seen, like, 10 of them before you got here. So it's like I literally can't miss it, like, knowing when I see it come around again, because I just know it that well. But Buffett knows a grand cycle. He knows, like, fucking 50 years of market history. So he's a dinosaur that now has a hell of an advantage in this environment. Okay, so something I want to talk about is crypto things. So pulling this guy up, we want to keep track of him. That's the old chart. We'll come back to LTC. So we're going to talk about crypto things right now. So stock thing, you guys get where that's at. So this was our chart. We looked at him sitting on top of this high thing. I told you this is kind of sus. That it was really, this pullback was so strong that it was even sitting on the very highs. Like the stronger it is if it doesn't pierce into the old system, you regard that as being, pretty strong on the breakout. This was exceedingly strong. Not the best structure to kind of rotate up out of, but he's base, and he's rising. And this little bump here created fucking the down wave we saw in fucking, crypto here this weekend. So we're leaning under here. We said pay attention to this once you're under the underside. It's the same trigger. So it's already played this. And we're paying attention with this climax low to see if this goes through or not. BTC looks a lot more horrific looking at this. And again, like, there's major contagion fears. So coin, I think, is your best proxy of exchanges. And, he's down here sitting now at, like, critical spots too. If he goes through his base, he has a very similar structure to FTT before it let go. And there's most likely, a few more exchanges to go down before all is said and done. So that will be just jarring to the market every time you get that news. DXY dollar things. So the dollar gets strong, right? This would be a situation that would be kind of, like, seriously worth paying attention to. So we talked about this. If this is an extension that allows him to rotate and this is about the end of this bear flag. This would be a good timing asset for the DXY, because this is a pretty good, if you look at it, this is a good bull flag on the DXY. The DXY is doing this, right? He's effectively a bull flag now. Is that the low of the bull flag? We don't know that just yet, but this is the beginnings of what possibly could be the low resolution uptrend that starts this off. So as far as the DXY is concerned, if you back out on him, right, if that's his first real major correction off that insane arc he's run, he has a range that very much could be like pullback in oil that could restructure out here and totally fucking go for it again. GBP USD, we back up on him, right? His long term is that he's really just broken a low. This is a dead cat for all intents and purposes. Euro looks a lot healthier in the way he bounced, but all of them really, really backed out. The dollar trend is still there, and so this is very easy to turn just a bear flag, a larger one. But if you zoomed out, you can see it, and if he rotates down again, you need to be prepared for it. If the market's going another leg down, and crypto is going to be kind of like your kind of like warning sign that risk assets could take another leg down, then you do want to pay attention to DXY at like a bigger res. USD JPY had a vicious correction with the help of the central bank. Looked at this guy, and he's got a pretty big update today. Just looking at him, he's solidly up, and North American assets again are the strongest, right? Canada, Mexico, United States. So if that tide begins again and this trend's not done, we want to be aware of it. And a lot of people take their eyes off these things. When things are in bull markets, people just won't look. But the reality is, this is an insane bull market that no one cares about, right? Going on in everything North America on the JPY. And nobody wants this. People want to catch fucking tech stocks. People want to catch fucking NFTs. People want to catch crypto. No one wants this. No one wants fucking anything that's bull marketing right now. So I had an LTC chart up here. So we'll take a look at this guy again. Not him. Not that one. Where'd he go? Man, I know I have that chart. Where is he at? Oh, retarded. You guys a little simpler. Where's the other one? Okay, so I have a couple LTC charts that are worth looking at, just to not have all the millions of levels on it. So I like him as a great proxy of risk in crypto. Right, this little end structure he's got, he looks like he's violating his trend line, but he's not done shit down here. He's just basing going sideways. He can fail and still go make a new low and have to adjust his trend line. Like we could have to deal with that if he goes and breaks down. So, that's a possibility. The ultimate low of LTC really is like in the 20s. If he got down there, that's kind of where I thought he should get. So I think he still has room for that. So this guy's a good proxy. If he doesn't get through, then he rotates back up. That's going to be a sign of crypto strength. But for right now, let him figure itself out. He's a great proxy for the cycle itself. So this is kind of like big fucking cycle crypto. I have another one in here. And so, like I said, this is a good range, which shows how low in the range he can get. So just another one to kind of like have a cleaner look at him. And then there's LTC that looks like this, which is like the main one from the LTC winter chart from back in the day. And this guy right here is, like I said, what I think we need to see. I think he needs to be down deeper and come out of it. This is the range I thought he should get to. But for right now, I think he's a good proxy on it because he looks better than like ETH and some guys at this particular moment, which is kind of strange. Like ETH and these guys are leaning off a fucking cliff. So you never generally want to see LTC be the strong guy. Like that's like never a good thing, So we talked about this back in the day to watch this. This is something pretty key, LTC, BTC out of nowhere, right? Is 2 being the old low of 2017 cycle. And in this arc is where fucking like you do eventually get like, if he's strong, there's other shitcoins that trying to get strong with him because he's garbage. So he's kind of an odd one to be leading right now while no one's looking. Like LTC doing this is what we're waiting for to see him actually rotate this. If he could come out of here as a 2B, he's trying to do it. So I think you keep that guy on your radar because he's mad cyclical. All right, so that was that. VIX things. What am I at? 914. Holy shit. VIX things. So we're watching this angle. Again, this is a cautionary angle. We have a gap up on the angle. If this dump bars right now, we get a squeeze in the market. Or likely get a squeeze. Side of the market, probably industrials, but we have to pay attention to it. We rotate this. We want to be really well aware of what we saw the dollar giving us a hint of right now. We follow this trend angle. That's the stay of execution. That's a continued up wave we see here in fucking DXY. Dow Jones. So one thing too to remember, if you remember we made this chart and this heavy level we drew in here, I think we drew it on IWM also, right? This was like a heavy level we said to pay attention to. And as you have this last high, you've rallied up to here. And this is like a level that was a big time level to when he got under it, tested it, right, to go down. He landed on it, bounced off of it, checked from underneath it, and failed. So this is a big deal to stay above this level right now where he is right here. We want to see him like stay like above this. He gapped through it right here. And we're going to start proxying the Dow a lot more. He topped out here very cleanly. He gapped through it here. He gapped onto it here. He surged onto it here. So this is a very good spot. So like right now, if we look at this, I think this is good to pay attention to, right? The Dow at low resolutions to pay attention to is a bull right here. Barring he does not fucking take out that level, right? If he gaps back through it, he has another gap local top, or we call it island top, like this guy. So this is the resolution you kind of can watch this for a line saying, can this continue? Yeah, fuck yeah, it can. Because nobody's in this motherfucker. And can fucking tech keep getting ass raped? Yeah, totally. Can this guy do one of those fucking fuck moves and do this again? Yeah. If he does, you let him come back above the same threshold. If he does go back and corrects deeper through this angle and rotates, it'll be a gas move above this line if it's going to happen, to rotate up to the top. So I feel like it's tired as shit, but if it wants to stay on this trajectory, so be it. You have to play with low res till it gives you something bigger. But this is what I think you need to pay attention to more so now than the S&P, because there's such a fucking split with this shit going on in the marketplace. SPY, we'll look at it in the same breath. That would probably take the SPY into this angle, and at this point, you'd use that as an inflection point on all risk assets. That's a lot of words. Is that everything I wanted to talk about? Let me make sure. What else do I have going on this list? I think I touched on everything I'm supposed to. Cool. All right. Got that. It's 9:17. If I got like 3 symbols I can do, and then I gotta skip. So, what do you got? That was a lot. I know, a lot of words. Shots Silverline just threw out some fucking some memberships. So, guys, the social media notes and stuff. If you're curious about Trading Lounge and having some direct training on how to use the stuff in the show better, read price better, understand waves better, trading, contexting price, risk management, all that good stuff that nobody tells you a concise way to fucking make sense. We'll tell you a really simplistic method to help improve a lot of what you do in one call. You will see notable differences. Ask you guys in the chat on 2 concept calls. How well did the market change in the way that it looks to you? How much more useful did the show get for you? And how well do you make sense of what you're doing now, your mistakes and your wins? Price should make a whole new level of kind of sense. CCJ, all right, I'll be fast. CCJ, CGC, PEP and DLTR. See what I can get. Wake up. Stop going to bed. CCJ. All right, we have energy stuff we talk about, a big res, like XOP and all that. He's watching this trajectory of the uptrend still. Mad, congested, kind of hideous the way this looks. But if you're going to try to figure out something on that and he's going to hold that angle, you would go down into a res where you can see this particular bull flag and try to track that and see if you can get a rotation off this. If he's going to rotate up off this angle, this is kind of a hideous looking thing. I feel like he should probably do something like where he fucking, does a fuck move outside the angle and then rotates and does something like that. Would probably be a little bit better. It's kind of gross looking right now. But I think that's what you're watching. Chart? Mm-hmm. I fucking hit that button. I think this fucking pad's going out. My bad. Alright, so like I was saying, high res. He looks like XOP's bull flag and stuff like that. All the energy guys, big ass res, bull flag. Tracking this trajectory right here. Mad congested. Zoom into it and kind of track him somewhere lower. If he's going to rotate from here, he could be this bull flag now. I feel like he could do like a bear flag right here and come down a little deeper, get closer to the angle, and then go. But I'm watching this guy right now to see if he fucking rotates out of here and has legs to keep going. But energy, everything was fucking pretty crazy. CGC, which is weed, fucking, you know what? I smoke more weed than God, and none of it comes from any place I could give a fuck related to these people. And these motherfuckers have the market cornered. It's really terrible. Could there be a bounce in CGC? I mean, there's a truckload of volume being picked up down here. You'd be kind of grasping at straws. If you're going to play that thing and there's going to be any life to it, it's just going to be north of this shit he's doing down there. You know, it's but I think there's things, like I said, when people want to catch fucking things in a dumpster fire rather than pay attention to things in a bull market, this is what I'm talking about right here. PEP DLTR. Pepsi, like I said, some things don't look like fucking like dog shit, right? See what that guy's looking at? PEP versus CGC. Where's the money? It's not in CGC. Well, it was for a little bit, but this looks like the bottom of a bull flag. It could rotate, and the bull market's not been in CGC. So PEP is pretty stable. Coca-Cola, these guys are, you know, looking a lot better. We have Coke on a big level like this, rotating out pre-COVID highs. He's the weaker of the two of them. So PEP, I think, you know, staples look pretty good. Food in a lot of places looks good. McDonald's, all these guys are in interesting spots. These guys are inside XLP sector. And so staples have been, you know, pretty damn strong, along with like industrials in the background. So a lot of dudes in here look pretty healthy. I think Pepsi looks pretty healthy along with that structure. So PP, you know, right now he's flagging at highs right here. And I think you kind of track like that first high. He stays above that. He has the ability to keep going. We did this one for you back in the day too. Turned out pretty good. So can you keep tracking to here? Yeah, totally. DLTR, Dollar Tree, it's 921. These guys definitely do better in downturns. Cheap stores do better when people don't have money, and they look like they're no exception to that. Dollar General is another one. Dollar General is probably the better of the two. So DLTR, you look at him. I think I like DG better than that guy. He looks good. He looks a lot more like Pep does, right? So if you look at these guys, they're all kind of the same place. So Pepsi on top of that, McDonald's. Right, structurally, they look a lot alike. So thinking those, you probably some good plays in there. Like I said, if you keep seeing this tilt in the market the way it is, and it's just tech that keeps de-risking, there's definitely, you know, some opportunities over here. What was the other one? I think I'm over time, but let's see, what was it? I hate fucking losing out and getting your stuff done. Disney. Oh yeah, I can't skip that. So Bob Iger came back. That motherfucker, do you remember when he left? He left just before COVID destroyed everybody in 2020. Like him and a bunch of CEOs vacated in February, like nobody knew why. They had stepped aside, perfect timing. So he stepped right back. And let's look at where Disney is. I don't have the exact date. I put it on Instagram, but I can't fucking remember. But yeah, this motherfucker, that's probably the last one I gotta do. But let's look at where Bob Iger left. Where did this son of a bitch leave? He left right in February 2020. Let's see. Iger. He left like here. He left in this shit. With a whole bunch of CEOs, he like left. And Armageddon hit the planet. Dumped down here, and Iger's back at the base of this range. I think that's definitely fucking worth noting. Right? Motherfucker runs for the building here and is back here. So I think we do keep track of that fundamental shift that Iger is here. I like that as a technical level, as part of no, stop it. As an industrial that's actually weak and lagging the Dow, like him and like Boeing and these guys are like laggards, but they can totally come back if the Dow keeps that strength. These are the industrials that are on the bottom of the barrel, and Disney's one of them. So like, that's not it. God damn it. So this is a good technical spot, and Iger is definitely going to get bullish fundamentals from anybody looking at him versus Chapek. They just kicked out. So I think that's a good point you brought him up. And then Elon is fucking in the fucking soup right now with Twitter and everybody else. Good technical level to pay attention to. Remember we talked about that, like with FTX. The last low that generates your all-time high is a really important level if it gets fucking taken out. So that's Elon's right there right now. What the fuck is this giant blue fucking shit? I can't see shit. So that's worth paying attention to. That's a major technical level. Right now, if the market has strength, this likely could be a 2B on the low, and a recoil would be worth paying attention to. He sustains under this. That is big time fucking bad for him. And so Twitter, tied to this is kind of part of the sentiment that's going on here. But Twitter, in all honesty, well, that's gone. We don't see anything anymore. But Twitter's situation is going to be tied, is basically a sentiment, what's happening with Elon inside the marketplace. I think right now, today, if you look at it, if the market's not dead today, I think you have a serious chance of a technical bounce though on this guy. I would watch this trajectory too, right? This makes for a good wedge. And if Elon can actually rotate this and go all the way back, that'd catch a lot of people sleeping where he's at right now. So it's either the deal of a lifetime on a fucking wick low, or fucking a sign of something Armageddon if he gets to stabilize under here. So I think you're watching for this. If he does this would be fucking horrific, right? Not my best bear flag, but you get it. I think that there's serious, potential for him to bounce here. And that level I've got, that purple level, I'd say you're looking for a structure in here. We use blue for bull. Serious rotation possibility for this guy. So your scenario for him is come back up. But that's a major line. Just like FTT, you don't want to see him under here and sustain on here. That's very bad. So that's all I can do right now. It's 9:26. You motherfuckers get ready. I want you guys to fucking go into the bell fucking looking at a million symbols trying to hit buttons. So hope you guys learned a lot. And you guys stayed safe all last week and, had some downside in case it gets any worse in crypto. Pay attention to things we talked about, watching LTC, watch coin, watch some of the bigger indicators in the marketplace. It is holidays. Market volume will get thin. There's likely more contagion fucking issues that are going to come out to marketplace. So holidays plus thin markets plus closed markets, no access to things like hedging, in that period. If you get news over the holidays, and crypto loves a holiday, it will fucking move. So, stay safe out there, guys. We don't see anybody else say that they lost their life savings in this crazy shit. Not your keys, not your coins. If it doesn't have to be on exchange, even if you feel real confident about it, if you don't have to have shit on exchange and you plan to keep it, it might be worth, holding your shit, somewhere off market. So, till next time, motherfuckers, stay safe. Hope you didn't get a seizure. Peace.
Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome